Today I wanted to show you a new fountain pen, and by new I mean something just recently released to the market within the past couple of months. When you think of Japanese fountain pens, pretty much you're going to think either Pilot or Platinum are probably the two big mass-produced brands that come to mind. And I've used them both. Pilot really early on. Recently, I've had several Platinums. The Platinum PREPPY, since it came out, about 10-12 years ago, has been a very popular brand, or a popular model. And quite honestly, I use a Platinum PREPPY or headband pretty much every single day. To me, it's one of the most underrated fountain pens out there. And Platinum PREPPYs go for about $4.50. And they only come, that I've been able to find, pretty much in a fine nib, a number 03, which is representing fine nib. And this one here, it needs to be cleaned out. This one actually is Matthews. And the reason why I'm not showing you mine is because I can't find it. I was using it every day until suddenly we can't find it. So, but anyway, this is a Platinum PREPPY. It's their low-end pen, and quite honestly, I've been impressed with it. And for a low-end pen, it doesn't get much better than this. And one of the cool things is I like to eyedropper it, because what I did was I took out the cartridge and put some silicone grease on it, and I was actually using Bay State Blue as an ink with which to eyedropper fill this particular pen. All right. So then the next level up pen that they had was a Platinum PLAISIR, which is this right here. PLAISIR's, it's quite a bit more when you look at the grand scheme of things. Still not that much money, but about 3 times the cost. $17.60 seems to be on the low end. I've seen them online on eBay from anywhere between $10 and $22.50, and the $22.50 includes shipping. So I've actually looked at this on this channel before. I have used it. I like it. And quite honestly, it was a fairly good pen for the money. And this particular pen, much like the PREPPY and the one I'm going to show you, takes a cartridge or converter. The converter can be as expensive as the pen itself, which is why I'm using the cartridges. And so that I don't continue to buy proprietary cartridges, which is the one thing I hate about a lot of different brands, is they have their proprietary cartridge rather than using a standard international. I flush it out and I reuse it. So it's got an agitator ball right there. And that ball is also used to seal off that cartridge, but it keeps an agitator ball in there. So this one also has the ability to be eyedroppered if you so choose. Now you might notice a pattern here, and you look at the section where it's clear, look at the section that's clear, and you're going to see that nice striping along there. Very similar in its construction. Well, within the past couple of months, Platinum has released the Prefounte, Prefounte. So I'm assuming that is the pronunciation. So I recently picked up that particular pen and have been using it here recently. This particular pen comes in several different colors. You can find it in a much darker blue, which is like a cobalt blue. This particular one is the sea blue. There is also an orange, which is a vermilion orange, the dark emerald, and a crimson red. This one is called Night Sea, and I've been fairly happy with it. This seems to be the one that I like the most out of all the ones that I have seen on that list, or in that picture that I just showed you. So I went ahead and ordered this particular pen. It is a slip cap, much like the others, and you're going to see here it is a very familiar sight compared to the others that I just showed you, in a very similar nib. I'll tell you what, why don't we do that? Let's compare them side by side so you can see them. So essentially, you've got small, medium, and large, if you're going to look at it that way. Right? So all along the same line, they went to the same well essentially to produce them, although they have a very different feel and a little bit different look to them. The PREPPY is usually clear. You can find them otherwise, but I usually get them clear, and they come with different inks, you can also find this in a marker. So you've got the clear, essentially, and you've got the PLAISIR, which comes in different colors, but you can see it's pretty much opaque. And then you've got the Prefounte, which is somewhat translucent. You can actually see through that. I don't know if the camera's catching it very well, but you can see through that. And all three of these pens can be eyedroppered, and I may very well do that, because quite honestly, I'm tired of playing with cartridges. I want a pen that has ink in it all the time, which is what I really liked about that PREPPY that I had. I was able to put an ink in there that I really enjoyed. And one of the cool things about this, if I want to eyedropper it with a blue ink, that may actually stain it more so than, let's say, on that PREPPY, because the PREPPY is clear. I may be able to put in a blue ink, and you might not notice any ink stains quite as much. The Prefounte comes in either fine or medium. You'll notice right here that 5M, the 05M designation means that it is a medium nib. You can also find it in a fine, which would say 3F instead. It comes in a package sort of like this, and as a matter of fact, here's what the packaging looks like when you've got the fine nib on it, and it comes with that designation of the 03F. When you first pick it up, one of the first things you notice is that it is a lightweight pen. You're only talking, just a few grams of weight to it, and it's only like 1/3 of an ounce, like 0.35 ounces or something like that. So it's a very lightweight pen. It is, in terms of girth of the cap anyway, it is more slender, slightly more slender than the PLAISIR, and it does not have the ring around the bottom. Quite honestly, I like this style a whole lot better than this style. I think that this is a much more stylish looking, a much more sleek looking pen than is the PLAISIR, and it looks less cheap, for lack of a better term, than the PREPPY. So, kind of like the Prefounte in its style, in its look. I think they've really improved how it looks. A little more sleek, a little more stylish, and quite honestly, I'm liking it. I'm liking it a whole lot better. So when you go to slip the cap, you go to put it in your hand, and you're going to find, yeah, it's a fairly lightweight pen. It fits comfortably in the hand. You're going to find that that cap is not heavy whatsoever. It doesn't really backweight that pen. And much like the others, it's a comfortable writer. It's something you could probably sit and write with quite a while. When you put nib to paper, you're going to find something that may be a little bit surprising. So let me show you just a little bit about the statistics on this particular pen. It's one of the things I like about it is it's not a tapered barrel. It does kind of flatten out a little bit, but it's slightly rounded. And here, the same way up here, you get a nice flat top, and you get a serviceable, plain, ordinary, everyday clip. So let's go ahead and show you some more details about this particular pen, and then we'll do a quick writing sample. Platinum Prefounte, I had no preconceived notions other than the fact that I knew it was going to be somewhere in between the PREPPY and the PLAISIR, and if it writes like the PLAISIR and at a lower price point, then we may have a winner. So let's go ahead and find out. This, the Platinum Prefounte. This one has a medium nib. And one of the first things that you realize is when you start writing with it, it is a smooth nib. I mean, it's steel. It's a little stainless steel nib. There's nothing fancy to it. And it actually, much like the PLAISIR, is a pleasing, s'il vous plaît, si vous plaisir. It is a fairly smooth, pleasant writing experience. You can get some flex out of it, but you're not going to really get a ton of line variation. I mean, I can feel that nib flex quite a bit, but in terms of variation, you're not really going to get any. So one of the things about this particular pen, for the price point, for a $10 price point, all right, considering the PREPPY was $450 or so right now, going rate, and the PLAISIR is at $1760 up to $22 or so, and I have seen this as cheap as $10 for the PLAISIR. The Prefounte, to me, if you're going to invest in a platinum pen, is probably your best bet, your best purchase of the three. I definitely would buy a Prefounte over a PLAISIR if I had to do it all over again rather than having both. The Prefounte to me is a much better looking, very comfortable to hold, smooth writing pen, and it just looks a lot better, in my opinion, above the PLAISIR. The PREPPY is not a bad pen either. Like I said, I still was using the PREPPY every single day, and I would buy that for $4.50. I don't feel so bad that we can't find it. It's somewhere in the house, I'm pretty sure. But for the past month or two, it's been missing in action. So I'm sure that when I find it, I'll be able to use it again. But for the past little while, haven't been able to, and I don't feel so bad about losing a $4.50 pen. I wouldn't feel tremendously horrible about losing a $10 pen, but for the $10, if you're looking for an entry-level pen, it's definitely an entry-level pen. But I would say for the quality, it seems to be a very good option if you want an entry-level pen. If you want a nice smooth writer, then I would say the Prefounte so far has been a winner for me. What I don't like about it, again, is the proprietary cartridge and converter. I don't like the idea, because you go to buy a converter, you're going to spend as much for the converter as you would for the pen itself, which doubles the price in order to be able to have if you want to put in a different colored ink rather than just what comes into the supplied cartridge. However, do what I do if you want and flush out that cartridge. Just use a blunt tip syringe and you can fill it with whatever ink you want, which is what I'm going to end up doing. As a matter of fact, when this ink cartridge runs out, probably what I'm going to end up doing is flushing out the cartridge, keeping it for use in other platinum pens, but probably eyedropper this baby right here, just because I can, and just because it'll have a pretty good ink capacity when you do that, far above what you would have for just a cartridge or a converter. And like I said, because of the colored barrel, even though it's translucent, you'll still be able to see ink slosh around and still not worry too heavily about a little bit of barrel staining. So anyway, those are my impressions and my experiences thus far in having the Platinum Prefounte in my collection. I got this pen over a week ago, and I've been using it and enjoying it and thinking, not bad at all. So I think that Platinum actually has a winner with a Prefounte.